Hi everyone, this is Dee again, and thanks for joining me on this handmade life. I am back today with a watercolor comparison video. I purchased for the first time some Sennelier, some Schminke, and some Holbein. I have never tried any watercolors in these brands before. I have been using my palette, this Daler-Rowney palette that I'm not even sure if it's professional or student grade, but it's a really nice palette. I like the colors, and they've been serving me pretty well, but I just wanted to give some other colors a try and get a comparison of the different, just the features and how they apply on paper, the feel, just the sensory experience, all of that. Color payoff, how pigmented they are. So I'm going to open these up right in front of you today. Look at the packaging. Isn't it beautiful? Especially this Sennelier one. That is so pretty. Really lovely. So this is a French brand, Sennelier. Schminke is German. And then the Holbein, I believe, is made in Japan. In the Sennelier, these are colors that I was specifically needing to add to my palette that I was looking for, and so I just decided to go ahead and try a few different brands and see what I liked better. I do have quite a few browns in this Daler-Rowney palette. Several here, actually. This is the burnt sienna, and this is the burnt umber. This one is light red. I'm going to swatch those for you today because I did buy another brown. And then I bought a white because my white is, it's just not performing very well. I think it's because it's so old and dried out. No matter how much I wet it, it just doesn't re-wet very well. So I'm going to try the white in the Schminke. This is a Chinese white. The brown in the Sennelier is Van Dyke brown. This one, I was looking for a skin tone, kind of like a very pale skin tone. I'm not sure if this is going to be it. I was looking at swatches on Dick Blick, and this looked the closest to me to what I was looking for, but you know how computer screens can be. So we'll see. That's the point of swatching. So let's go ahead and open it up. I think I want to, actually, before I open any of these, let's do a swatch of the browns that I already have so you can see what those look like. I'm going to grab the burnt sienna in the Daler-Rowney, and we'll see how that one looks for you. I've been using this one. This is pretty wet consistency. And as you can see, there's a lot of red in this brown. So yeah, it's a nice color. Orangey brown. Let's see if I make it a little thicker. Oh, wow. Yeah. It is quite creamy, I have to say, which I like. I like that slippery feel. And let's do a really, really thin. It's a little too much. Water it down some more. There we go. Yeah, okay. So my circles are a little bit wonky, but that's okay. All right, so that's the burnt sienna and the Daler-Rowney. Now let's go ahead and do the burnt umber. It would be interesting to see a comparison of the same colors in different brands, but you know, I wanted to try some different colors. I've been looking for a brown that is kind of purpley. This one here, the burnt umber, it's kind of ashy, I would say. And as you can see, the burnt sienna is really red, and I wanted something that was a little more purpley brown. So that's what I was hoping that I'd get in the Van Dyke. We shall see. And let's do a really, really thick one. Kind of the color of, makes me think of bark, tree bark. And this too feels rather creamy. It's nice. I like that color. But sometimes I just want something with a little bit of purple in it. I know you can mix purple in. You can make so many colors with actually a very limited palette, but it's still fun to have more colors to play with without necessarily mixing, right? So, okay. So those are the Daler-Rowneys. Now, I just grabbed the only Daniel Smith color that I have, which is a little bit of Purple Lake. So maybe we'll swatch that as well and get a look at some of these major brands all together on one page. Actually, let's do Daniel Smith next. It's a pretty purple, kind of a spring floral color. Oh wow, look at that. That's so pretty. That would be really beautiful for doing some violets or lilacs as one of the purple colors. Okay, so this interestingly doesn't feel, I was expecting the Daniel Smith to feel creamier than the Daler-Rowney. This feels more watery, and I suppose that could also just be a difference in colors. I'm not comparing the exact same colors, so it's not entirely a fair comparison. Is that showing up on the camera? Can you see that? Really faint. It's pretty though. Okay, so that's the Daniel Smith Purple Lake. Now, the fun part, I'm gonna break into, let's do the Holbein. So I'm hoping for a skin tone. I read that it's supposed to be kind of a pinky yellow color. So we'll see. It's really well packaged. These are half pans. They do sell tubes as well. So this is interesting. The Holbein gives you the pan, the half pan, whereas other brands, I think Daniel Smith, if you buy just single colors, you only get the cake. So that's a nice thing. This does not look like the color I was expecting. It looks a little more peach, but I guess peach is pink and yellow, isn't it? So we'll see. Whoa. Look at that. I mean, it wets immediately. Look at, can you see the color payoff on that? Immediately picks up color quite thick. Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's lovely. That is so rich. It's not the color I was looking for, but the quality of the paint is just really beautiful. And it is a nice color. I could see using this in a lot of different ways, particularly with florals and landscapes, for sure. So let's try a thinner consistency. Now that could pass if it's really watered down for skin tone. I don't even know if that's showing up. Is that showing up? Can you see that? Wow, that's amazing. Okay, let's try one that's, whoa. It's actually hard to thin it out. The paint just picks up so easily. Now, some of that could be because they're new, but I don't recall the Daniel Smith Purple Lake being that easy to re-wet, essentially. Okay, that's really, really lovely. Makes me think of a sunset. Beautiful glowing sunset. Or sunrise, as the case may be. Okay. Moving on to the Chinese white. This will probably be hard for you to see on camera, but we'll see. I could get some, I don't have any black watercolor paper, unfortunately. I do have some black cardstock that I could swatch it on. Oh look, this has a pen too. How about that? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this did come. Maybe the Daniel Smith did come in a pan. Okay, so there's the Chinese white. And that is the Schminke. I'm really excited to try this one. I watched a video on, I think, Schminke's YouTube channel about how they make their paints, their watercolor paints. Whoa, look at that. This too, I mean, so easy. I've been struggling so much to reliquify, to re-wet my whites. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but you can definitely build this and make it quite opaque. Let's try it on some black cardstock. I grabbed a little bit of black cardstock. And let's see. Look at that. Wow. Okay. Let's make it a little thicker. Wow. It's almost like using whiteout. You could really build that up. Now I am seeing as it dries, it's pulling back a bit. So it'll be interesting to see this thicker consistency, how it dries. Obviously this is not watercolor paper, so it's not gonna perform the same way I would expect. But that's great. Okay. So that's the Schminke, Chinese white. So as I understand it, the Chinese white is supposed to be more transparent than titanium white. I was looking for a watercolor white. I like to be able to mix my white with other colors like red and get a pink without it being too opaque. And I thought this would allow me to do that. And as it's drying, you can see, especially here on the more watery one, that it is quite transparent. You know, let's try, just for fun, taking some of the Purple Lake. And adding a little bit of the Chinese white. I'm curious what it will do. Yeah, I mean, it lightens it, obviously. It is more opaque than if you were to just only thin it out with water. It really just depends on what effect you're looking for. Okay. Next up, let's try the Sennelier. So this one is, I believe, the only one that contains honey. The description on Dick Blick's website says, Sennelier French artists' watercolor half pans come in a range of 48 vivacious colors inspired by the original palette of the French Impressionists. Their honey-based formulation offers a smooth consistency as well as extraordinary brilliance, luminosity, and longevity. Okay. L'aquarelle Sennelier. I apologize if I'm butchering l'aquarelle. Oh, that is hard to say. L'aquarelle. I love the little bee. I guess that's their logo. So cute. Made in France. This is the Sennelier Van Dyke Brown. In the pan, it looks dry, quite similar to the burnt sienna. This is the one I'm most excited for. Whoa. Yeah, they're all picking up color really quickly right away. They are re-wetting. And maybe that just has something to do with them being fresh. My goodness, look how rich. Like chocolate. Like dark chocolate. Oh, that's perfect. Absolutely beautiful. That's exactly what I was hoping for. It's so lovely. It does. It has that purple. That's really lovely. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to use this one. This is great. Wow. Beautiful. Okay, so I am curious, out of all of these, if any of you have used any of these brands. If so, which ones? And what is your favorite? What's your favorite brand? What are your favorite colors out of what you're seeing here? I'm in love with this Van Dyke Brown. It's just really lovely. And I mean, totally different than the burnt umber and the burnt sienna. Completely different use. Very cool toned. Very cool. And it does kind of have that hint of purple. You can kind of see it, especially next to the purple lake, picking up on that. Wow. Just lovely. Here's another look at the Chinese white on black cardstock. Really interesting. It almost looks blue toned. It does. It reminds me of, well, the moon, I suppose, but not a yellow moon, a blue moon. So those are the colors. Now, let me tell you, I told you about the Sennelier. The Holbein, brilliant and beautiful Holbein artists' watercolor half pans have been created for artists who enjoy painting anywhere and everywhere, made with a combination of both traditional and modern pigments. These watercolors offer exceptional brilliance, excellent light fastness, and crisp, clean results without muddiness. And then the Schminke, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Horadam Aquarelle half pans are individually optimized and formulated using the highest quality pigments, water-soluble resins, and natural gums. Produced in Germany since 1881, the company is now owned by the fourth generation of the original family. Today, the line includes an array of brilliant, intense, professional quality colors, many of them with the highest light fastness ratings of 4 or 5 stars. Smooth flowing and intermixable colors that have dried on the palette can be reactivated with a wet brush. And it's so true. I mean, they just re-wet so easily. All of these. Really, really impressed. So those are the colors for today. Let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.